So I mean, that just leads me to my next question. So you're talking about contracts, and you have contracts in place that saying that you have to fix up a place. So obviously, in that business structure, I mean, are you more LLC, S corp, a C corp? Which one are you, and why?
Okay, so let me talk on that a little bit. And one of the reasons why I like to work with individuals that got 9 to 5s, right?
Mhm.
Especially, normally when like me anyway, and the people that I work with, they don't have that much money. Okay,
Mhm.
it's starting out, right?
Mhm.
And with that being said, one of the power things that you could do is leverage the bank. Okay, obviously, make sure that your credit is straight. Save up a couple bucks, leverage the bank. Now, the bank really, really, really like W-2 people. So people who are W-2 employees, they tend to cater them with kid gloves, right? Even though some people probably won't believe it because their credit score is bad, but they do, right? It's easier to get a loan. It's much more simpler to get a loan when you are, getting into personal versus getting a LLC. Now, this is going on record. I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice by
Mhm.
any means or
Mhm.
anything like that. But obviously, to protect yourself, to do it the right way anyway, is to get an LLC, right? But
Mhm.
what I typically do and suggest to individuals, because it's an easier process, it's not a roadblock, is that you just get the loan, in your name. And if at the table you want to change to LLC, get with your attorney and they could do that, at closing table as well.
Mhm.
So now there's language in the note from the mortgage company that says, hey, if you do something like that, they can pull, the note, the mortgage, and make you pay, 100%. But at the end of the day, I never heard um, any bank that did that as long as you continue to pay the mortgage. So that's one of the things that you could do. So, but I just really kind of coach people just to get into the game. It's very easy to get a investment loan, using your name versus a LLC.
I mean, yeah, it's funny that you brought that up, because it just felt like you just dropped like all these golden nuggets from the sky, just started raining in. And I want people to really realize what he just kind of explained to you about the situation, right? So just to kind of translate that a little bit and kind of stay on that topic a little bit more, is that he's saying that because you have a W-2, it's going to make it easier for the banks to give you loans because they know that your ass is going to have money to pay for that loan. And
Correct.
that's like the collateral. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily your house or tangible objects or assets. It's the fact that you have reoccurring revenue that comes in every 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, they know you have a job and you can make the payments. And that's definitely great insight, and something that I think people that get into real estate don't think about, right?
Yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
they just say, okay, I'm going to go to the bank, I'm going to present to them my business plan, and I'm going to try to get a loan. But to your point, if you have a job, well, that job is your collateral.
One of the biggest things that I found to be
Mm,
funny, and I laugh to this day, is that like everybody don't feel as though they made it until they got an LLC. It's like
mm,
it's like what an LLC only means one thing. It only means that it's big. Don't get me wrong. Is
mm,
limit your liability. That's it. But from a tax write off and all that
mm.
good stuff, it's the same. So you
Yeah.
get the same benefits. And this is where stop going to your aunt, your uncle, your cousin's friend, your nephew who does taxes. Go to a certified CPA,
Hmm.
and they can educate you to some things that you just don't know. And also because the tax book is about 70,000 pages, right? And
Hmm.
and those CPAs, they go to school for that. They got to pass a
Hmm.
crazy test, right? And go to them because they're the professionals, and they can educate you to some things. And LLC is just that. It's important. I'm not discrediting that by any means, but don't think that you had to make it because you got a LLC. You made it when you're sitting here, bringing in some extra income and building
Hmm.
that financial wealth for you and your family or whatever your goals are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, just diving into that topic a little bit more, and the example that I like to use to kind of put things in transparency for people to really understand is like everybody's kind of familiar with amusement parks like Six Flags, right? So
Yes.
think about Six Flags as that is an umbrella corporation that may be a C corp, right? Then inside that organization, there's multiple rides. Each plot of land is then set up as an LLC, right? And then the ride itself may be underneath the S corp. And they're like, well, why the hell would they do that? Well, to your point, like you want to limit your liability. So if someone gets hurt on a roller coaster, then you're going to try to sue Six Flags, but you can't sue Six Flags because that roller coaster is owned by a
Yeah.
separate C Corp, and the land that is owned by LLC. You got 2 levels of protection before you could even get to Six Flags.
Yeah.
So by default, you got all these legalities and lawyers in between. You can't sue Six Flags. It's not going to happen.
It start to get special. I mean, you know, obviously they got money and attorneys out the wazoo, right, to structure it in a proper way. And that's another thing, you know. I mean, you know, it's great to go online and open up your own, you know, LLC, but there's, you know, a way to get it structured too, you know, to ensure that you are safe. Because just because you got an LLC, folks, does not mean that you are safe. Because you know, if you use it the wrong way, like one example, you know, I hear a lot from the attorneys is that if you intermingle your personal with your business, that's just a loophole. So you can have an LLC and they can still sue you personally. So and you think that you got everything straight. So it's rules to follow, you know, and all that good stuff as well, you know. But I guess the answer to the original question, you know, do I have LLCs, of course, you know, but that didn't stop me. And I got properties that's in my name. So